You can now add and edit visual calculations on the service. To add, just select New Calculation from the context menu on a visual after you publish a report. And if you have a report that you already published that has visual calculations, then you can get to the Visual Calculations edit mode just by selecting a visual calculation and then choosing Edit Calculation. For on-object interaction, we've streamlined the build pane, and we've moved the Visual Suggestions feature to be inside the On-Object Build button. So if you need help building your visual, use the On-Object Suggest a Visual Experience, and if you already know your way around, then just use the Build pane as you do already today. To view data in Power BI mobile apps, you really want to have report layouts that are optimized for mobile scenarios. Until now, it has required extra work to create those mobile optimized layouts. But starting this month, with a click of a button, you can automatically generate those mobile optimized layouts. This is going to save you a lot of time.
Why not both? To balance the needs of our existing users who prefer to build visuals quickly in the pane with the needs of our new users that need guidance when picking a visual type or appropriate field wells, you no longer have to choose one or the other path. Now there's both. This month, we streamlined the build pane and moved the visual suggestions feature to be inside the on-object build button only. This simplifies the build pane and gives back some of the height from before to be able to see more field wells. This also makes it more clear when to use what. Need help building your visual? Use the on-object suggestive visual experience. Already know your way around? Use the build pane as you already do today. Depending on where you prefer to start building your visual, the on-object menu will be opened or closed. If you typically start your visual by first choosing a type from the build pane and dragging fields to the wells, then the on-object menu will remain closed to not get in your way. But if you start from the data pane, the canvas, or the ribbon, OnObject will be open to assist you with suggesting a visual type and placing the fields for you in the appropriate wells. This is especially helpful if you're using the switch mode on the panes where the build pane may actually be collapsed. The OnObject build menu is still available. We've also made updates to the pane switcher. The pane switcher has now been renamed to the pane manager and spruced up this month. Based on your feedback, we've updated the order of the pane listings. Notice build is now second in the list. And we added the settings that pertain to the pane manager directly in this menu. These can still be found in the settings menu using the gear button at the bottom, but for ease of access, we've added these options here as well. Show only one active pane is off by default to make use of the stacking pane behavior. You can always turn this on if you want the switch behavior instead. Last but not least, Gauge Visual is now supported. The Gauge Visual now supports the new on-object formatting subselections. Simply double-click on your Gauge Visual to enter format mode and then right-click on which part of the visual you'd like to format using the mini toolbar.
Hello everyone! Today I am going to show you the new Auto Create feature for mobile optimized layout. With this new feature, you can now generate a mobile optimized layout with just a click of a button, saving you tons of time. Let's see how it works. Here is a desktop layout of a report. As you can see, this layout includes page navigator, slicers, overlaid visuals, and visuals with different visibility state that can be hidden and shown using the bookmark button. Now, let's switch to the mobile layout. If the mobile canvas is empty, you can generate a mobile layout just by selecting the Auto Create button. As you can see, I now have a mobile layout generated from the desktop layout. The AutoCreate engine understands the desktop layout of your report and builds a mobile layout that considers the position, size, type, and order of the visuals that the report contains. And as you can see, it also takes into account the overlaid visuals and the hidden visuals. So the bookmark buttons works the same way we saw in the desktop layout in the mobile layout as well. If the mobile canvas already includes visuals in the mobile layout, you can use the Auto Create button that will remove all the current visuals and create a new mobile layout based on the Auto Create logic. You can use the Undo option to return to the previous layout if you want. You can also edit the automatically created mobile layout. So if the result is not exactly what you expected, you can tweak it to make it perfect for your needs. Think of it as a starting point you can use to shorten the way to that beautiful, effective mobile optimized report you envision. To start enjoying the new mobile layout auto-create capabilities, switch on the auto-create mobile layout preview feature in Power BI Desktop. We invite you to try it out and share your feedback with us. Thank you.
DAX Query View with Copilot is now available in public preview. Once you enable this feature, you can use Fabric Copilot to generate DAX queries from natural language and get explanations of DAX queries and functions, and even get help on specific DAX topics. The enhanced row-level security editor is now the default experience in Power BI Desktop. With this editor, you can quickly and easily define row-level security roles and filters. And you can do this without having to write any DAX. This month, we are previewing selection expressions for calculation groups. This allows you to influence what happens in the case where a user makes multiple selections for a single calculation group or does not make any selection at all. This enables better error handling and also can just provide a better default behavior in certain cases. This can also bring you some potential performance improvements. We've made some improvements to the DAX query view, including the reordering of query tabs. The share feedback link is now on the command bar, and we now have coach marks for DAX query view. And we've also added 3 additional info DAX functions.
My name is Zoe Douglas, and I'm excited to show you some new additions we've made to the DAX query view. So in the DAX query view, you can write a DAX query and use that to see data in your model. Now we've made that even easier than before with Copilot. You click on the Copilot button and then ask it to write a DAX query for you to list, say, products by number of units sold. It will generate that DAX query. You can click Keep It and then Run to see the results of that generated DAX query. And that's not all this Copilot can do. You can also ask this Copilot about DAX topics, such as what is the difference between sum and SumX. Now the Copilot is going to go ahead and give you a short description first, and then you can click See More to see a longer explanation with examples. And finally, we have added a share feedback link to DAX query view. We would love to hear your feedback. Thank you.
Creating relationships for your semantic models on the web is now easier thanks to the Auto Detect Relationships feature. Just go to the Home ribbon and select Manage Relationships. Then choose Auto Detect. Power BI will find and create the relationships for you. To improve the life of people using Power BI mobile apps, this month we've made it possible to open Power BI items in full screen. Opening an item in full screen is supported for both launch items and when using a universal link. Custom visuals that use the new Authentication API are now also supported when viewed in the Power BI mobile app. No additional authentication is required, so it just makes it more seamless to explore data in the mobile app. In desktop developer mode, if you click on the title bar, you will see a new flyout that is specific for Power BI project. It lets you easily find the Power BI project files, as well as the display name settings for the report and semantic model. And you can also open the folder in File Explorer by clicking on the paths. Last November, we announced the rename from the word dataset to semantic model. And now, when you save as a Power BI project file, the dataset folder and the definition.pbi dataset file will both switch from using the term dataset to the term semantic model. Git integration got a little simpler this month. We've consolidated the item.metadata.json file and the item.config.json file into a single system file. This month, we've introduced a new filter API. This API lets you create a visual that can filter matrix data hierarchically based on data points. This is going to be very useful for custom visuals that leverage group-on keys and allows hierarchical filtering using identities. And as always, we have many great visualizations and new visuals in AppSource this month. The Get Data button in Power BI Report Builder now lets you connect to new data sources such as Snowflake and Databricks. If you need a paginated report that supports parameter prompts in more than one language, well, before you had to create several reports, but now you can simply set an expression for the prompt in Power BI Report Builder and specify the translated labels for the prompt.
You can connect to new data sources from Power BI Report Builder. For this demo, I will build a very simple EV car report by connecting to a Snowflake backend. To do this, click on the Data tab in Power BI Report Builder. Then you need to click on Get Data on the toolbar. This will launch a Get Data window. Here, search for your database that you want to connect to. I've selected Snowflake. Enter the server name, enter the warehouse name, and the credentials. You could either use a shareable cloud connection or create a new connection. For this demo, I'm using a shareable cloud connection. Once you have all of that information, click on Next. Here, you can select the tables that you want for your report. Since this is an EV report, I'm selecting the EV table, Transform Data. Once you click on Transform Data, you'll see your data in the Power Query Editor. Here, you could either transform the data or edit the mashup and perform all the operations that you would for using Power Query. For this report, I could remove a few of these columns because I don't need them. I'm going to remove column, win column. I'm going to remove the county column. And I think this is good. The data set is successfully created. And you can see the data source and data set in Report Builder. I'm going to create a very simple report. Let me insert a table. 3 tables. Let's say make, model, and EV type. As you can see, win, I deleted win in my PQ, and that doesn't show up as part of the data set. So this looks okay. So I go ahead and publish this report. To my paginated reports demo workspace. I'm going to call this EV cars and publish. Successfully published. I click on OK. This is my workspace. And there we have EV cars. You can now share this report or view this report.
Each month, we like to spend a little bit of time recognizing the people who really make the community what it is. And this month, we'd like to call out Amin Jabi. As you can see from his stats around the kudos he's received, the number of solutions he's provided, and the many times he has engaged in conversations via replies, he is truly one of our superstars. Thanks so much, Amin. That's all for this month. Please visit our Power BI community forums at aka.ms/PBI community. It's the best place for you to connect with others and to get answers to your questions. And please, let us know how we can do better. Like, comment, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.